Hi, welcome to She Spice. As of late, Jaguar Wright was in the title since she discussed Jay-Z's supposed association with a few truly unspeakable wrongdoings. Now, Rihanna is purportedly backing up Puma, which sets Jaguar's story further in an amazing turn. Puma raises the likelihood that Rihanna could have been overseen by Jay-Z. Wright uncovered that maker Evan Rogers found Rihanna in a lodging without parental management in the early hours of the morning on her home island when she was as yet underage, and she wound up in a meeting room with Mr. C. Without parental oversight, Rihanna wound up on a confidential plane that eventually led her to a meeting room experience with Sean Carter, otherwise called Jay-Z. As indicated by maker Evan Rogers, he and his better half were traveling in Rihanna's country of Barbados when she unexpectedly moved toward him on the ocean front, displaying her singing ability is part of my way of life, so I grew up moving constantly, and the ability with which I recently began singing was motivated by Beyonce individuals like Moore Carey. Houston was straightforwardly interrogated regarding Rihanna's connections to the U.S. Wright enigmatically answered, "It's starting to sound like it isn't." Moreover, she charges that Rihanna's dad gathered a critical check, adding up to a portion of $1 million purportedly connected to his little girl's cooperation. This raises doubts about Rihanna's collection and indicates a requirement for additional examination ability. It shows at 30 a.m. So you're saying that the bits of hearsay are valid? There are reports flowing that are here. Wright likewise communicates inconvenience with a collection cover, depicting it as depicting a youthful lady of the hour with a crown at the top of her head and blood spread across her face. The hypothesis has been around for a really long time in regards to Jay-Z's supposed contribution to Rihanna during her underage years. Rihanna and Jay-Z have been at the focal point of steady bits of gossip. Furthermore, conversations past hypothesis indicated a likely heartfelt association between Jay-Z and Rihanna, notwithstanding Jay-Z's relationship to Beyonce. Rihanna has implied undisclosed episodes, including Jay-Z, that were beforehand undisclosed, and it's part of discussions. You know, when you have $1 billion on a lift show, it appears to be practically unavoidable. Jay-Z and Beyonce, the unparalleled power couple in hip bounce, were pushed into a hurricane of conning bits of hearsay, following the hole in a security tape. The recordings seemed to catch Beyonce's sister Solange standing up to Jay-Z in a lift with her satchel after the 2014 Met celebration. While this episode turned into a significant mark of interest, it wasn't the beginning of a hypothesis encompassing treachery paving the way to their serene wedding in 2008. Tenacious bits of gossip about disloyalty apparently made Jay-Z and Beyonce unobtrusively separate on occasion. Hypotheses about Jay-Z's supposed extra undertakings have waited inside the Beehive local area since the circumstances arrived at a pinnacle when Beyonce, through her 2016 collection Lemonade, dropped various clues about treachery, starting an intense journey among her dedicated fans to reveal the personality of the assumed escort, warmly alluded to as Becky with the great hair. Jay-Z later recognized these allegations in his collection 444. While the character of Becky remains tricky, these disclosures shed light on the continuous bits of gossip about Jay-Z's unfaithfulness, and the way that the Carters explored through these difficulties should be sufficient. We should simply keep it genuine. Jay-Z and Beyonce participated in a time of relative quiet before the apparently faultless relationship experienced harsh criticism from a whirlwind of deceiving and bits of gossip in 2001. Jay-Z referenced to Vanity Fair that they were simply beginning to date each other. Anyway, 4 years after the fact that the media was buzzing with reports of Jay-Z's supposed issue with his protege, Rihanna is creating a shaded area over his relationship with the previous Predeterminations kid star, as per Jay. Randy Taraborelli, the creator of an unapproved memoir on Beyonce, describes the couple carefully isolated during this turbulent time, with Beyonce wrestling with vulnerabilities filled by the Rihanna hypothesis and standing gossip that, Jay-Z's and Rihanna were having an undertaking, and my occupation as a biographer is to kind of unload these tales and put the lie to them, if conceivable, or affirm them, if when Beyonce delivered the energetic separation song of devotion, Ring the Caution in 2006. Hypothesis. The colony of bees proposed that the other chick referenced in the melody was Rihanna, and the canine referred to in the verses was Jay-Z. Anyway, Beyoncé's group allegedly denied any such associations, yet these bits of gossip, in view of any reality, as per Tara Borelli, Jay-Z didn't really undermine Beyoncé, and he affirmed that the tales were created by Rihanna's marketing specialist, Jonathan Hay, as a methodology to help her vacation. In a 2015 email to the New York Daily News, he purportedly referred to the plan, offering conciliatory sentiments to both Jay-Z and Rihanna, confessing to the creation and depicting what is going on as exceptionally abnormal. Jay-Z and Rihanna never did the terrible. They didn't do the dreadful. Rihanna's association with Jay-Z dates back to 2004, when the youthful Barbadian vocalist was brought to the workplaces at Day Jam accounts, where Jay-Z held the administration. Rihanna has straightforwardly shared her underlying anxiety about gathering the persuasive tycoon and businessperson, relating the second in a meeting with a Watchman in 2007. She owned up to feeling serious tension as she wound up eye to eye with a man who might assume a crucial role in changing her life. She cleverly depicted the experience, saying, "I resembled gracious God. He's not too far off. I can't look. I can't look. I can't look," exhibiting their perseverance through companionship and expert help when Rihanna in the NFL reported that she would feature in the 2023 Super Bowl halftime show. Jay-Z was quick to extend his congratulations to his protege and companion, notwithstanding the different difficulties and reports. Remembering the hypotheses of an issue for 2005, it has stayed clear that both Rihanna and Jay-Z hold significant consideration for one another and earnestly embrace each other's professions. A tremendous crowd, and the camera at a Super Bowl is one of the greatest crowds. It's almost unfathomable to envision a reality where Rihanna's unbelievable ability isn't broadly perceived. However, evidently, that was the situation when she tried out before Jay-Z, who was then the leader of D Jam Records. Rihanna's way to fame started when record maker Evan Rogers found her not long after she won a nearby Stunner event in Barbados. Later, after moving to the US to live with Rogers and his better half, she recorded her presentation as a single Ponda replay. When Rihanna played out the tune for Jay-Z at the Jam, it cemented her star status in his eyes, as the artist described to Drifters. Regardless of introductory reservations, Jay-Z was really prevailed upon by Rihanna's ability, later seeing her live execution of the tune. New York DJ Saipa Sounds reviewed a discussion among him and Jay-Z about marking Rihanna, with Jay-Z communicating questions. Sounds recollected the conversation expressing he resembled, "I don't realize it very well. It may be only one tune. I'm similar to no, I'm letting you know, Jay, that to this end, you have me around your ear. I'm the N and R." The connection between Rihanna and Jay-Z has for quite some time been covered in disarray, with determined bits of hearsay recommending an undertaking when they originally teamed up in 2005. These reports supposedly assumed a critical role in Beyoncé and Jay-Z's one-year split as Beyoncé wrestled with the onslaught of stories, as per creator J. Randy Tara Borelli, as detailed by the Daily Mail. Beyoncé didn't have any idea what to make of this, and it really wound up separating them for a period. They spent perhaps a year separated from one another on the grounds that Beyoncé simply wasn't certain of what to think about the circumstances with Rihanna. Anyway, it later arose that these reports were just creations. Marketing expert Jonathan Hay admitted to establishing the narratives in the press, subsequent to being recruited to advance Rihanna's presentation Single Ponda Replay. A marketing expert who worked for Rihanna, who conceded that he established the story in the press was false. It was a story that he established to further, notwithstanding the achievement that originated from her most memorable experience with Jay-Z getting a record bargain. Rihanna actually experienced apprehension during her underlying tryout as a young person from Barbados, meeting one of the most popular and compelling figures in the music business. It's reasonable. Rihanna later thought back about that nerve-wracking experience with her fans through her Instagram story. Recognizing feels like just yesterday, I was shaking in the foyers of Death Dilemma, holding on to try out for Jay, as revealed by the Night Standard in a comparative record to The Gatekeeper in 2007. Rihanna portrayed the uneasiness she felt during her tryout for Jay. She was incredibly tranquil, bashful, and cold during the cycle of communicating. The strange sensation of sitting opposite the notorious Jay-Z, I was incredibly peaceful. I was exceptionally modest. I was cold the whole time, and I had butterflies. I'm sitting opposite Jay-Z, like Jay-Z, and I was captured. The fellowship between Jay-Z and Rihanna stretches beyond the domain of the music business, including different parts of life. Making and delivering effective collections and melodies, Jay-Z, a famous rapper and investor, has been open about offering counsel to Rihanna on a range of points, stressing that while he gives direction, he has zero control over the results or choices she makes in view of that exhortation. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.